The public school system has failed all of us. I want you guys to comment below. And this is for people that are over 24, 25 years old that are out here paying bills. Did you feel prepared for the real world once you got out of high school, once you got out of college, master's, or any of that? Did you feel prepared for the real world? This is supposed to be education, things that we can take for our entire lives. And don't get me wrong, we learn the basics, arithmetic, reading, writing. They barely even teach that anymore. Kids can't even properly read at their proper grade level now. So it's failing everybody. And I'm not here to alienate all school. Private school is the best schooling over public school. Let's be real. And Ivy League schools, places like Stanford, are going to get you more entries into a door as far as job wise than if you get it at a community college or a junior college. So I'm not alienating all school, but most school fails you. How? It prepares you to be a worker. This is how you control and indoctrinate a mass group of people through schooling. Also, it teaches you not to question authority. And I'm not here to say there's not hierarchy that shouldn't be respected. I'm not saying that. But isn't it funny how if you look at the cafeteria of a public school, a prison, you can't tell between the two. And these are supposed to be setting you up for a better life. Prison doesn't help the prisoners. Schooling doesn't help the regular person. The military helps in some degrees. But all of it is brainwashing to a degree. Let's just be real. Also, it fails your thinking. It teaches you to think dualistically, not critically. Critically meaning that there's multiple things that can be right and wrong at the same time. School teaches you, oh, well, if it's not that, then it's this. And so, what are some other ways that public school has failed us? It trained us to avoid failure. Now, Miles, what do you mean? Whenever you're in school, you're trained to memorize things, not to actually learn them. Because if you actually learn them, you would be able to regurgitate what you learn from the third, fourth, fifth, whatever grade level it is. But you're trained to memorize for that short period of time, even in college. It's not teaching you the experience or how to learn the actual thing and put it into practice that stays with you. The only thing in school that really stuck with me was, I think it was 7th grade, 8th grade typing class. And that's because they taught you how to type, meaning they gave you the experience. And now that helps me throughout my everyday life. But outside of that, there's very little other things that I can do or I remember. And I'm sure you guys struggle to remember as well. And I'm not talking about the basic math, the basic writing, even though we can't even do that. People are struggling at their whole, the educational system is messed up on so many levels. It doesn't teach you anything. Then you got bad teachers, bad leadership, bad principals, and then you have bad parents that aren't teaching their kids manners and values and respect, to be respectful of the teachers, that are teaching you the basic stuff, the whole thing is screwed up. The entire thing. So if you're going shoveling, getting herded through that system, you're going to be set up to be a worker. You're never going to be set up to be what you or know what you need to know in order to be successful in the real world. And I'm not saying everybody needs to be an entrepreneur or all of that. You just need to know basic stuff of how to maneuver when it comes to the workplace, when it comes to dealing with and thinking about life, what life, how you, things you're good at, the realities of life. And so it teaches you to avoid getting something wrong. Well, if you're going out into a job for the first time, yeah, it's all cool and dandy to read it in theory and books, but it's entirely different than to go out and experience it. You're going to fail at it, is what I'm trying to say. You're going to fail at it the first time. There's no way you could have understood it and got it right the first time. You never had done this before. So instead of avoiding the failure, how about accepting that the failure is going to happen and that you're going to have to learn how to pivot and adapt quickly to what's going on? Because, guys, you're going to get it wrong. You're going to mess up. You're going to lose. And I hate messing up. I wish God would have made me a perfectionist. I prayed for that as a young person. I seriously did. But guys, failure is inevitable. You're going to fail at something. There's no way around it. So instead of running from it, running from things you're not experienced at, how are you ever going to grow without failure? And it's not even really failure. It's just learning how to do something. It's just learning something new. It trained us not to collaborate. I can't tell you how many times in a college classroom you have some of the most intelligent people living amongst you, but they're not willing to put their hand up to ask the question about something that they're confused about. And so they would rather sit there in silence than to ask a legitimate question in class. Why? Because they've been indoctrinated not to question anything. You should already know the answer, which makes you feel stupid, which makes you not want to look bad in front of others. But like I said, how are you going to know what you don't know? In the real world, how are you going to be successful or starting a business without collaboration? But in school, if you ask for, hey, what do you think about this? That's you shouldn't do that. That's cheating in some ways. Now, granted, I'm not saying you should ask your neighbor for what the answer to number 10 is, but what's wrong with asking them, hey man, how did you get that to that answer? You want to collaborate on this project together? And people in school and college, they try to do that, but it's highly ineffective in some instances. They try it in some instances to make people collaborate, but it's highly ineffective. And so instead of asking your boss or asking your coworkers for help, you would rather sit there and suffer. Because in your head, you have been conditioned to believe that you should already know something that you don't know. There's another realization about being successful that I'm realizing more and more each and every day. IQ alone doesn't make you successful, meaning that having the high ability to be analytical and process isn't enough. It's great. It's a component of being successful. But what use is that if you're not willing to take the action and take the risk on? Hard work is good, but hard work alone isn't going to get you and make you successful. If you've been working in the real world, you notice that hard work doesn't get you a promotion. It just gets you more work. IQ doesn't make you successful, it just makes you good at analyzing certain information. But success is way more complicated than that. You need risk tolerance. But everything in school has taught you to be risk averse. Play it safe. Do the normal thing. Don't think outside of the box. Fit in, conform. And so, of course, you're not going to be risk tolerant because you've been taught to avoid failure. And then you look at the people that are millionaires and you're like, my IQ is higher than his, but he has $1 million. I wonder how he got there. I'm way smarter. Some of you guys are way smarter than your bosses or your managers or your supervisors. But you're still stuck in that position, which lets you know what? IQ, hard work, doesn't get you in that position. It has something to do with nepotism, likability. So there's a lot of components you need in order to get to where you need to get to. And this is what I'm realizing on my way dealing with this stuff currently, right? I'm going to take you guys on this journey of what I'm thinking, my intellectual growth, my work growth, everything. And so this is what I'm starting to realize. You need IQ, you need hard work, you need risk tolerance. And here's the thing, the people, once you start talking about risk to people that are risk averse, they get nervous. Hey, you shouldn't start that business. No, man, you should just go work a job, even though you know the benefits on that job aren't up to par, even though you know your 401k isn't going to really amount to much because it hasn't been taxed yet. Life insurance isn't up to par. Your pay, your actual wage isn't up to par. And you're wondering why you're stuck in this repetitive loop of being stagnant. Some of it has to do with the fact that your schooling has failed you. Now, granted, some of it has to do with some of your family members have failed you. Your parents have failed you. Maybe it's a combination of all of the above. Nonetheless, great information is needed in order for you to get to the next level. If you don't know what you don't know, then how will you ever improve? So that's my video. I want you guys to let me know if I'm hitting on something that you guys can relate to in the comment section below. You guys let me know what you guys think. If you noticed this as well, you guys have a good day, a good week. I will see you guys in the next video, man. Peace.